Hello everyone, this is 5 minutes away, about less than 10 minutes away from the start of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix held here in Jeddah. We've got 50 laps and a 2-hour race limit. For those of you who want to know the football results, Chelsea beat Fulham, another team doing a remontada. Man United lost at home to Wolves, and of course, what else was there? I don't know. But anyway, oh yeah, Arsenal destroy Ipswich 4-0 away from home, continuing their great performances from the Champions League. Of course, I know nobody has joined the stream yet, but everybody's going to do a one-stop strategy, which it's probably not going to be too popular with the F1 fans, considering we had a great race last time out in Bahrain with the two-stopper. For some reason, it seems to be that tyre wear is nowhere near as much as an issue here as it was in Sakir last week. And can you believe it? We've already had 5 races of this season. This is already the 5th race of the season. Thank you for the like and 2 people watching. As you may know, Verstappen will start on pole position after a spectacular qualifying lap where he proved himself to be the F1 equivalent of a first edition holographic Charizard Pokemon card. Piastri was only slower by 1/100th of a second. At least he completed his qualifying lap, unlike someone else. Russell, once again, another great qualifying performance from Mercedes. Leclerc joins him on the second row of the grid. Behind him will be Russell's Italian teammate, Kimi Antonelli. And 6th place will be Carlos Sainz in his best qualifying performance so far for Williams. 4th row of the grid will be 7-time champion Hamilton, lining up alongside Red Bull's Yuki Tsunoda. 5th row will see Pierre Gasly start alongside Lando Norris, who crashed out in qualifying with a really poor mistake, I must say. The 6th row of the grid will be Alex Albon starting alongside Liam Lawson, who, for the first time this season, out-qualifies a teammate. And as strange as it is to say, this is actually Lawson's best quali result of the year, despite having started the first 2 races for Red Bull. 7th row, we'll see Fernando Alonso start alongside Isaac Hadjar in another difficult weekend for the boys in green. 8th row will be Britain's Ollie Bearman starting alongside Lance Stroll of Canada. On the fire, Aussie rookie Jack Doohan will start on the 9th row of the grid alongside German veteran Nico Hulkenberg for the Sauber boys. And on the back row of the grid, Esteban Ocon will not be happy to start alongside Bortoleto on the rear row of the grid. We're about less than 5 minutes away from starting the race. Please put in your predictions in the chat. Who do you think will win the race? Because, my goodness me, we've got a pretty close encounter here. Verstappen outperforming his Red Bull. Piastri is probably the fastest car in F1 at McLaren. Russell, once again, doing bits for Mercedes. And Leclerc doing his absolute best for Ferrari, who have had another slow start to the season. And there are 3 DRS zones on this track, such is the fast nature of this track. So hopefully we can get a fair bit of overtaking action here at Jeddah, because it is predicted this race will be a one-stop race, with most of the drivers starting on medium tyres, except for the following drivers: Norris, Hadjar, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. Those 4 drivers will be starting on the hard compound tyres. So, yeah, if we're going to be truly honest, I kind of hope there might be an impromptu safety car in this race, to be honest. And as you can see, the weather is air temperature 28.5 degrees Celsius. Light wind from the northwest. No chance of rain because we are in the Middle East. We've never had a Middle Eastern Grand Prix with any rain in it. It just doesn't rain at this time of year. And for the constructor standings, McLaren are leading by a huge margin, almost 60 points over rivals Mercedes. Red Bull not too far behind. Ferrari will not be happy to be nearly 100 points behind, but it is what it is. Haas have outperformed my expectations by jumping up to 5th place ahead of Williams. It will be a fight between Oscar and Max at first. Yeah, I think a lot of people's prediction is more along those lines. Aston Martin, I've got a lot to thank Lance Stroll for the fact they're in 10th place, and of course his dad will be pleased with that. Racing Bulls just a point ahead of Alpine and Sauber, who I've got to say, Alpine will be really annoyed at how far back they are already. And the driver standings, despite being under fire, Lando Norris is leading the championship by 3 points, and the trophy is 70 centimetres high. Thank you very much for that, statistics say. Ahead of his pole, his front row starting teammate Oscar Piastri, and 8 points ahead of pole sitter and 4-time champion Max Verstappen. And only 14 points behind is George Russell, who, despite not winning a single race so far this season, has been exceptionally consistent. Charles Leclerc, on the other hand, remains 45 points behind, which is already quite a lot of points to be behind the points leader, if we're going to be honest. Antonelli is in 6th place with 30 points ahead of a 7-time world champion. Very impressive stuff there by the 18-year-old Italian rookie. And Alex Albon is in 8th place with 18 points. And Esteban Ocon, wow, I mean, I've got to give him some credit. Although he has been very inconsistent, though, weirdly enough, but you know, in the midfield, as long as you keep scoring big points all the time, I mean, you can get away with having dodgy results here and there, as long as you get big points when you get in the points. I don't know why. It's like the Saudis want to show off their prestige and their grandeur by giving out these bigger and fancier trophies as every year goes past. They really want to, like, prove to the Western world and just the rest of the world that they are the future. But in the current present, Red Bull's first edition holographic Charizard is starting on pole position, and of course, yes, celebrity endorsements, as you all know, of course. We all know how much the Middle East love it when the celebrities from the West give them their approval. It looks like all those human rights campaigns to try and discredit the Middle East is kind of failing, to be honest. Not that I really care, to be honest, but, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, in my country, I just kept hearing all about from the BBC about how all the human rights atrocities in Qatar for the World Cup, but yet the BBC and ITV showed wall-to-wall coverage of the World Cup regardless. So I was just like, what a load of hot air that is. And of course, yes, in 9 years' time, this country will be hosting the World Cup, with at least 48 teams attending as well. So, and I think I'm pretty certain the BBC and ITV and whatever major TV broadcasting networks will be salivating at the action involved. So, yeah, we are now on the formation lap. Verstappen has departed the final corner, and he is locating his grid slot to start the race. Most of the field, except for the bottom 6, 7 drivers are now have already exited the final corner. They're now locating their grid slots, getting ready for a start. Oh, we're taking a bit of time to get these cars lined up, aren't we? It is 10 o'clock local time in Saudi Arabia. Very late start for the locals. Even later if you live in East Asia. And it is actually like, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the East Coast of America. Whilst in Europe, it is 6 o'clock here in Britain and 7 o'clock in Central Europe. 8 o'clock for those who live further close to the east. This is the top 10 grid slot for those of you wondering, so I don't need to repeat myself. Just one more car getting lined up, which should be Bortoleto. 5. Oh! Piastri has caught the first corner. This is getting chaotic already. Max and Oscar with the mind games, but Max leads coming out of turn 5. And Gasly goes up to 8th place. Tsunoda down to 9th. Oh no, Gasly and Tsunoda have collided. The two former AlphaTauri teammates have eliminated each other at turn 5. Oh, that's going to be a safety call. Oh my word! I need to watch a replay. I mean, it is free. I'm not sure Jack Doohan's the one who's got his seat under threat. It might be Gasly, to be honest, because I mean, this is the second time in about 5 races he's had some sort of problem that's costed him points. It is a safety call. Oh. Gasly's out, yeah, definitely. Prime head to center Alpine. Oh, yes, Tsunoda has managed to get going again. The same cannot be said for Gasly, who is done and dusted. Not so F1 friendly between Gasly and Tsunoda for now, as they would say on the in-betweeners. Oh. Why? With Pierre Gasly, it never rains, it always pours. And look at that, that's the top. Oh. Yeah, oh. Well, you know, I mean, Tsunoda will rejoin in 19th place. He's a lucky boy, but, you know, the order more or less stays the same for the top 4. Trying to think what happened. Antonelli remains in 5th place. Hamilton leapfrog Sainz for 6th place. Norris up to 7th. Wait, I'm looking at one screen. I mean, Sainz is 7th on the screen I'm looking at, but on BBC website it says he's 8th. 9th place is Albon. Alonso, being the cunning cat that he is, has already found his way into the top 10. With the 2 RBs of Hadjar and Lawson knocking on the door for a points finish. And Doohan, Ocon, Bortoleto and Tsunoda have all pitted, unsurprisingly. Oh yes, and we have got an investigation between Verstappen and Piastri, and well, apparently I don't know, more rumours about Sebastian Vettel taking some sort of admin role. I mean, we've always had rumours that Vettel could be the next FIA president. He could he could be the next team principal at Red Bull, or I don't know, Aston Martin or Ferrari. But until I see official confirmation, I'm not going to say anymore. But what I can confirm, unfortunately, is that Frenchman Pierre Gasly, Alpine's lead driver, is out of the race. And regardless of what sort of penalty Tsunoda might receive, and well, he's been parked up in a pit lane for a long time, and I presume he's probably out of the race. If he doesn't get out in about half a minute's time, then the damage is done for Pierre for the evening. I don't know what it is, but Pierre Gasly has some atrocious luck when it comes to street races. Like last time out at Australia, he went off the track and he lost positions to the McLarens and Lewis Hamilton. Then at Las Vegas last season, his engine blew. Jesus wept. And yes, Tsunoda's out of the race, so yeah. I think the safety car is probably going to do one more lap before releasing the field to go green flag racing again. With Doohan, Ocon and Bortoleto having switched onto the hard compound tyres. Obviously, those three want to try and gamble on chaos in front of them, knowing that this is a tight street track with little room to manoeuvre with the barriers. This track is basically like, it's got the speed of Silverstone and Spa, but the tightness and closeness of somewhere like Monaco, Singapore, and Hungary combined together. So there really is, to recycle a cliche, no room for error at this circuit in Saudi Arabia. I mean, if you look, you're free to update the chat with Premier League scores, but frankly, in my eyes, the title race and the relegation battle have already been completed a month or two ago, so I don't really care. I mean, that's for me. As a Derby County fan, though, oh no, yes, we're sitting above the relegation zone, but we're only sitting above the relegation zone on goal difference. So, yeah, tomorrow we're playing West Brom away, so we're in absolute, oh man, it's squeaky bum time. I wouldn't support Susie Wolf as president. Yeah, I think there'd be a fair bit of nepotism, and I think there'd be I can't help but think that she would struggle to dampen accusations that Total Wolf would be influencing her decision making. As much as I probably would rather have someone like her instead of Mohammed bin Salman, Susie also comes with her own baggage, unfortunately, which is not ideal, but the FIA are not really there to improve motorsport. A lot of them are just consisting of shareholders who obviously want to make a tidy profit for their own retirement funds. And the fact is, only the shareholders get to vote for the next president. So, as a fan of motor racing, we do not get a say. We have no say in whatever the hell happens in the future of F1, WRC, touring cars, or whatever series you're interested in. Verstappen is entering the final corner, and he will become the virtual safety car. Russell is slipstreaming Piastri. Yeah, I know. I did say Tsunoda is out of the race. Verstappen speeds away. And, well, it looks like I see no change to the order, and it's been a pretty safe and stable restart for the field. Whilst unfortunately, Yuki Tsunoda and Pierre Gasly can only think about what could have been. What's that? Max has already pulled a second gap on Oscar. Oh yeah, I know, because like I said, the shareholders have a lot of it. Obviously, are going to be. It's obviously it's all about who the hell will who the hell MBS can help make a profit. It's not about having a brighter future for the sport or better rule making. It's more nepotism than anything else. But Max Verstappen's already pulled a second gap in front after half a lap. Half a lap. Oh my word. Unbelievable restart. Oh my goodness me. Max has a 5-second penalty. Max, though, it's been announced as a 5-second penalty, which probably some sort why Max is trying to get away at the front. That's probably why Max was so eager to get on with the restart, because I think he knew that after pushing Oscar out wide at the first corner, that he might be receiving a 5-second pen. And DRS has indeed been enabled. And look at that, that's another. Oh, and there's also a second gap between Piastri and Russell. So the field's already spreading out after just 1.5 laps of the restart. Oh, and Hadjar's overtaken Alonso. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was too interested in terms of what was going on at the front. Yeah, great move by Hadjar to get past the Spanish veteran, making those hard tyres work to good use as well. Looks like Max will be forced to serve a 5-second penalty pit stop then. So, yeah, he's very much eager to get a move on. Piastri, on the other hand, is trying to obviously get within the 1 second zone, which is obviously where you can use a DRS. And yeah, Piastri does get the fastest lap of 33.4, but he just can't get close enough to Max to attempt any sort of overtaking move right now. As for Norris, he's stuck all the way down into 8th place. I mean, I know obviously, according to simulations, Max will probably drop to 3rd, but you know, I think Max is probably going to try and extend his first stint as long as possible until, like, I don't know, 18 laps before he pits. I don't know, because obviously the hard tyres really should be able to last at least 30 odd laps. I think Max is going to try and have to do the overcut on Piastri and Russell if he wants to try and win the race. But, you know, I think the fact that Max pushed Oscar around the first corner is proof that Max knows that McLaren do have a fast car over a race distance. So, look at that. I mean, Oscar's fastest lap was 3 tenths faster than Max's. So, yeah, I mean, the potential is there in that Papaya car. Max has got his car out to DRS range again, doing a 33.56. Very impressive response there by the Dutch Charizard there. My God, there are some fairly big gaps already appearing though between pretty much everyone in the top 6, top 7 more like. I mean, Lando's already over 1.5 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. It's not very impressive to say the least, but Albon has already got up behind his teammate in 9th place, so that's pretty good by the Williams, getting a double points finish as it stands. Although, of course, we do have a new point system where we say if the race is stopped between, like, I don't know, 10 laps and 25% race distance. Oh, sorry. If it is stopped between 10 laps and 25% race distance and it cannot be continued, then only 25% points will be awarded. If it's stopped between 25% and 50%, then only half points will be awarded. Between 50% to 75%, it's only 75% points awarded. And obviously, if it's stopped after 75% distance but cannot continue until 100% full race distance, then full points will be awarded. I don't know why I told you that, but frankly, I don't really have a lot to comment on right now because the order has remained exactly the same for the past 2 laps, apart from Hadjar overtaking Alonso for 10th place. Obviously, Norris did overtake Sainz, but to be honest, I think Sainz just gifted Norris. Having said that, Norris just doesn't seem to be able to close the gap on Hamilton, despite the fact that the Ferrari's obviously nowhere near as quick as the Papaya cars. Weirdly enough. And look at that, new fastest lap, real personal best for Max Verstappen, 33.51. I mean, Piastri just cannot deal with the dirty air coming off that Red Bull right now, and he cannot get within DRS zone. Max is driving masterfully right now. And once again, we're seeing exactly the same replica of his performance that we witnessed at Suzuka. Oh my God, Max Verstappen is... The guy really does live in his own postcode of MV1 right now. Look at how close the lap times are between Max and Piastri. I think Piastri was only 0.02 seconds slower than Max on the previous lap. Insanely close. Look at these timing gaps between the top 7. It's just they're all spreading out so much already for some reason. It's like, I don't understand, because considering there are very few slow corners on this track, the dirty air is really bad. Oh, Max was given a time penalty for cutting the track limits on the first lap before the safety car came out for the Yuki Pierre Gasly collision. But for some reason, the FIA have bent their own rules just to penalise Max, which is weird. But of course, Oscar Piastri does have DRS coming out of over the start-finish line onto the start of lap 10. And Oscar just cannot find a way past. So, and to make things worse, this is a one-stop race, so I'm kind of hoping the Red Bull pit crew make a mistake today. That's my only hope. But of course, they only have to focus on one car and one pit stop in this race. I mean, with Norris struggling down in 7th place, like, maybe McLaren could try and experiment this afternoon. Maybe try and get Lando to do a 2-stop, because let's be honest, he's probably going to lose a championship lead anyway. They're like 60 odd points in front of Mercedes and the constructors, so does it really matter? And it's pretty obvious that I think McLaren have already shifted their attentions to making Piastri their number 1 driver, because Norris is complaining about the fact that the car suits Piastri's style more than his, which is a bit obvious to who I think McLaren see as their lead driver now. It's not Norris. It just isn't. Like, for me, when I compare Norris to a Pokemon, he's like a common, normal type of Pokemon, like a Rattata, a Pidgey, or a Spearow. Like, you know, you're a starter Pokemon trainer. You pick up your first Pokemon. It's a Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, or a Pikachu. You enter your first forest to catch your first Pokemon, and it's just full of Lando Norrises everywhere. Hiding in the bushes, hiding in the trees. Is a Lando Norris there? It's a Lando Norris here. It's a Lando Norris everywhere. Oh my god, Alex Albon can be a right whinging bitch on the radio, to be honest. And apparently I've not been able to see anything about chat again, so I don't know what to say, but I hope you enjoyed yourself. 11 laps will be completed in the next 2 corners. Max is comfortably controlling this race, keeping Oscar Piastri an arm's length away away from the DRS zone. Obviously, Oscar has picked up DRS again coming onto the hot start finish straight, but dude, we all know Max is making his car as wide as possible going into turn 1. The only real place that Oscar can actually attempt an overtake, and then of course Max just ekes the gap out again around a lap. Norris has got DRS on Hamilton, but I mean, question marks really concern more the driver than the actual car itself when it comes to Norris, I'm afraid. Oh, God. I mean, it's 6 o'clock and I'm already yawning. But anyway. To stop. I mean, I've been getting all these stories from some of the publications saying that it could be a 2-stop race, but I mean, to be honest, I mean, most of the field are still doing lap times around the 1 minute 34s and 1 minute 35s, which is pretty decent. And they haven't dropped off that much in the past 5 or 6 laps in terms of raw pace. I mean, Russell and Hamilton are complaining about their brakes and tyres dropping, but I think, you know, the guys on the medium tyres should easily be able to make their tyres last until lap 20, which is from an end to Hamilton has been overtaken by Norris, though, going into the final corner. Norris takes 6th place. BBC still haven't updated their timing charts, but Norris needs to keep Hamilton off going into turn 1. Oh, and Hamilton's retaken 6th place. He's retaken it. Hamilton back up to 6th place. Oh, Lando. What did I say, mate? What did I say? Lando will, oh my lord, another nightmarish weekend for the 25-year-old Gloucestershire-born driver yet again. And meanwhile, Piastri continues to struggle to find his way past the F1 equivalent of the first edition Charizard. Uno reverse, yes. Lewis Hamilton loves his Uno reverse card moves against Lando Norris. The old 40-year-old veteran showing his whiny fox ways. Lando Norris still can't grow a full beard of hair, but then I can't grow a full beard either, so yeah. Dude, we all knew Leicester were getting relegated anyway. That is not a news item. Oh, Oh, Hamilton and Norris, that's it again. It's the final corner. Norris gets passed round. But can he keep it? Can he make it stick though this time? Starting lap 14. Come on, Norris. Oh, Hamilton utilises the DRS again. He's back up into 6th place. And Norris, oh my word, this is going to be back and forth, isn't it, now, between Hamilton and Norris? Lando, you just, Hamilton must be having a right laugh right now. He's got to be giggling behind that yellow visor of his. Hamilton's just like, yeah, Lando, you've got a lot to learn in terms of racecraft. I've been there before many times with the likes of Vettel, Alonso, Raikkonen, Rosberg, Button. I've been doing this motor racing business for like 3 or 4 decades now, and you've only been around the block for like 2 minutes. Oscar Piastri, on the other hand, is also having a struggle of his own. He's like now 1.3 seconds behind Verstappen. He's falling away. Oh my word, this is another. I mean, yeah, McLaren are going to win the Constructors' title, but not sure about the Drivers' title, to be honest. Yeah, but Hamilton just re-overtook. No, okay, I don't know whether you're ahead of me, but as it stands, Verstappen will now begin lap 15 on my timing screen. Piastri cannot get DRS though. Norris is right behind Hamilton, and it looks like this time Norris is going to use the slipstream and DRS to overtake Hamilton into turn 1. And this time he's actually made the right decision. And finally, Lando has actually learned how to overtake a 7 times world champion. I think I'm going to give him a round of applause. Well done, young man. Only took you 3 attempts, but you know, better late than never. And George Russell is complaining about his tyres sliding around as he continues to fall away from the front 2, and Leclerc is within 3 seconds of the lead Mercedes. Meanwhile, Antonelli is also in no man's land. He's now about 3 seconds ahead of the 2024 runner-up Lando Norris. Whilst Hadjar is closing the gap to Thai British driver Alex Albon. Verstappen will start lap 16 in a few hundred meters time. Piastri is nowhere near close to the DRS zone. Max is controlling this race beautifully, I've got to say. And I think Piastri is just concentrating and looking after his tyres, because I think he knows that he's going to wear his mediums out if he carries on trying to get too close to the Red Bull with the dirty air. What was I saying about the whole greatest drivers thing? I think that between 2006 and 2016, we had an extremely strong driver grid depth quality with like Schumacher, even though he was aging, Alonso, Hamilton, Raikkonen, Vettel, Webber, Massa, Button, Rosberg, Barrichello. But I mean, we still had about another 3 years of Coulthard, even though he was definitely way past his best. Who else was there? Sutil was fairly decent. Nick Heidfeld was still around. Robert Kubica was excellent before he nearly lost his right arm in that rally crash. Yeah, I mean, obviously after that we had the emergence of Perez, Ricciardo and Bottas on the grid when they were actually quick and young and fast. Oh, sorry, I missed out your comments. I was too busy looking at the screen and thinking about what I was going to say. Alonso's got DRS on Lawson. Alonso's lost a position to Lawson. I only just realised that. Apologies. But it's not as if Aston are going to be scoring points this weekend unless something crazy happens in front of them. Norris is now less than 2 seconds behind Antonelli. What was I going to say? I think in the late 1970s we had a fairly strong grid with Lauda, James Hunt, Jody Scheckter, Lewandowski is out for 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, Barcelona did a remontada on Celta Vigo yesterday. Great performance, just like Man United on Thursday and Chelsea this afternoon against Fulham, proving that Real Madrid are just a club full of hot air and arrogance and monstrous egos without the justification for it. Alonso is complaining that his gap between Bearman and himself is not sustainable, proving that Aston Martin have a dog of a car right now, and that painting your car green never works out well in Formula One. You know, Jaguar, a very notable example from the early 2000s, slow as hell, regardless of what Eddie Irvine and Mark were trying to do. They never had a particularly consistently fast car in the sport. And, 1960s and 2000s, yeah, that was a great time for F1 driver quality. I mean, 1960s, Jim Clark, Jackie Stewart, Graham Hill, John Surtees. Yep, United bottle it again. But to be fair, I think United already focused on their semi-finals against Athletic Bilbao now, so I think most of the players have already checked out of the Premier League, kind of a bit like Tottenham, to be honest, because they can't qualify for Europe through the Premier League anymore. It's pretty much done and dusted. Piastri is now 2.5 seconds behind the race leader, Max. And of course, yes, I am about 25 seconds behind you, so just calm down a bit with the updates. Norris gets a good exit coming out to the final corner, and yes, he will overtake Antonelli down the straight. And I think Antonelli did concede the position because I think he knows he's not in a battle with Norris this afternoon. Norris obviously smarting from having the reverse card done on him twice by Hamilton of all people. I mean, obviously, I think the late 1980s, the early 1990s, Senna, Prost, Berger, Mansell, Piquet, Patrese was a fairly decent grid. I think in 1989 we had a grid. I think you had 39 cars entering a race back in the 1989 season. I mean, there were some pretty decent drivers who never even scored a point in their career, like Bert Schneider, what's his name, Gabriel Tarquini. Yeah, just wait. I'm about 30 seconds behind you. Gabriel Tarquini only scored 1 point in his career. He was another great driver in the touring car ranks, winning in the British title, the Italian title, the European title for Alfa Romeo. Bert Schneider went on to become a Mercedes touring car legend in Germany. Yeah, I think I'm now about to see. I think Piastri is heading for the pits because he knows he cannot keep up with Max at this point. And what did I say? 20 laps. Max has kept these medium tyres going for 20 odd laps and he's still going. A few others have pitted. Yes, indeed, you are correct. The order is changing now. I think the midfielders are definitely coming in, aren't they? Piastri comes out. Is it 6th place he's come out? Just ahead of the Williams. Antonelli's pitted. he's going to fall well down the order, to be honest. And he comes out just in front of the two Aston Martins. So Aston Martin are so slow that they can't even overtake Antonelli on the pit stop. That illustrates the deficit in pace that Aston Martin have got to pretty much the front runners. Antonelli comes out in 11th place, and frankly, I mean, he's not. I mean, Lance Stroll is more than 2 seconds adrift off the Italian rookie. Russell, yeah, just wait, mate. My timing stream, Russell is still going through turn 24, so still, I'm 30 seconds behind you. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I know you would love to see Max Verstappen join McLaren for 2026, but I think Max Verstappen wants to illustrate his own individual driving talent, because I think deep down Max knows that he wouldn't get he would be seen as a car merchant if he joined McLaren next year. Max has pitted. No, he hasn't. No, I got his car modelled up with Tsunoda, but no. Russell's pitted, yeah. Russell was pitted. I just seen it. So, provisionally, Leclerc, Norris, Hamilton have gone up to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th places. But they are still yet to pit. Obviously, Piastri has already started his stint on hard tyres. Russell has also gone on hards, and I think they will be trying to run these hard tyres until the end of the race, as long as there's no safety cars. Antonelli's also on the hard tyres. We all know what tyres they're all going on. All the drivers were in F1 during the 60s, I think. Jochen Riln, Jackie X, Mario Andretti made his debut in 1968. Yeah, Leclerc's now leading. I presume that was it. Max is now pitting, obviously. So, of course, that is on track and not a net lead of any sort. I will say, though, it would be pretty funny if we saw the safety car turn out and Norris was able to nab that position in front of Piastri, which would no doubt absolutely rile up Oscar if he is capable of getting angry, which Hamilton overtakes Piastri. What's going on here? Whoa. Piastri's having a bit of problems dealing with Hamilton, who's still not pitted. Hamilton is giving another McLaren driver a bit of heat. Giving them a bit more heat again. Giving his old team a bit of a roasting out there. But as it is, Piastri regains 3rd place on the road with, of course, Leclerc, the new race leader, provisionally, obviously. Verstappen comes out in 5th place, but he is the net race leader regardless. Oh, no, wait. Oh, yeah, he had his 5-second penalty. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oscar Piastri is the new net race leader. Apologies, because, of course, those 5 seconds, those 5 seconds have indeed costed Max, and have put Max 3 seconds behind the McLaren driver. Sorry, I missed that. I was too busy looking at timing screens. God, I need to refresh this page desperately. Max Verstappen's histrionics have caught up with him yet again. Oh, come on, man. Okay, thank you very much. Max is behind Hamilton at the moment. Oh, yeah, I know. Why the hell won't it re-update? Yeah, there we go. Finally updated after about 90 seconds behind us all. Look at that. Go, Lance Stroll is in the points without pit stop yet. Obviously looking at the order of the guys who have pitted: Piastri, Verstappen, Russell, and Antonelli. Antonelli's in the P4 for now, until, of course, Albert's pitted. And of course, I think they're probably, I mean, I don't know where the two Ferraris and Norris will filter out around where Antonelli is. They should come out around where Antonelli is. The two Ferraris and, of course, Lando Norris, who are still yet to pit. And mind you, obviously, Lando Norris started the race on hard tyres along with Hadjar, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. So he'll be extending his stint until probably around lap 32-ish. So it's going to be very interesting to see where Lando in particular comes out, because obviously of his choice to start the hard after bidding it in qualifying. And Hamilton is blocking Max, but Max overtakes Hamilton going into the final corner. Can Max avoid having a Uno reverse done on him? 2.1 second stop. Yeah, that's impressive. And Max gets the job done. And Matt Hamilton's pitted anyway, so that doesn't matter. But that's how you overtake going into turn 27, Lando Norris. And Anthony's already gone flying past Hamilton down the pit straight. Obviously, Lando will try and do a bit of Albano tyre whispering. And Hamilton emerges in front of the Canadian GOAT. Let's see. Who's not pitted yet? Norris, Hadjar, Stroll, and Hulkenberg. So, the way I see it, I think Piastri, Verstappen, and Russell is your net podium. I have no idea where Leclerc and Norris will filter out around where Antonelli and Hamilton is. So, and I presume Esteban Ocon is on course to be a net P8 with Sainz, and guess who's in the pit? Net P10, folks. Jack Doohan. It looks like Jack Doohan could be on course to rescue a point for Alpine today if he can make these hard tyres last the distance. Medium tyres? I don't know what. Oh, yeah, he's on mediums. I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah, Jack Doohan started a race on mediums, but then pitted after just one lap, along with Ocon and, of course, Bortoleto. So, okay, maybe, I don't know where Ocon and Doohan, whether Ocon, Doohan, and Bortoleto can make their hard tyres last the full distance, but it will be interesting to witness. But I do expect Sainz to overtake Ocon in the next maybe 3 or 4 laps, to be honest. Lawson overtakes Bortoleto for 15th. And Bortoleto's pitted anyway, I presume. Don't know what's going on there. Yeah. And Bortoleto overtakes Alonso. And then, of course, we've got, Piastri, new fastest lap. 32.76. And he's only 5.5 seconds behind his teammate Norris, who... Oh, Norris is going to be sinking inside that cockpit when he realises how close his teammate is behind him. I mean, let's be really honest. I don't see Lando finishing on the podium this weekend at all. But yeah, Ferrari, to be honest, it looks like Ferrari and Lando Norris are waiting for some impromptu safety car to rescue their bacon. Albon overtakes Doohan. Sainz overtakes Ocon. And once again, I think Jack Doohan has slipped out of the net points position since he is 14th on the road. But of course, Hadjar, Hulkenberg, and Stroll are yet to pit. Even if he does come out in front of Hadjar, even if Hadjar, Stroll, and Hulkenberg come out behind him, he's still not scoring points, which, yeah. For a couple of laps, Alpine were probably looking at their screens with a bit of optimism, but that optimism has evaporated again in what has been a poor start to the season. Leclerc will begin lap 27 and a few hundred meters time on my clock. And Oscar is now within 5 seconds of his British teammate. As Oscar has got those hard tyres up to temperature. And look at that. Piastri's fastest lap is over half a second quicker than Norris's this weekend. Whilst Max Verstappen has now fallen 4.2 seconds behind Piastri. Bortoleto, Bearman's now running behind Bortoleto, but wait, has Bearman overtaken Bortoleto? Looks, oh yeah, Bearman's got DRS. Yeah, he's going to overtake Bortoleto. Leclerc. Those are some pretty decent lap times by Leclerc, by the way. 3.4 his last lap, which is really solid performance by Leclerc, who is actually lowering his. He's actually going quicker as his medium tyres get older, strangely enough. 26 laps on the mediums by Shalalala. Seriously impressive stuff by the monogas driver. This is a really good performance by Zhou. He really is stamping his authority on his veteran British teammate Lewis Hamilton. I mean, compare that to Hamilton, who's, well, this lap is a 33.5 on 3-lap pulled hard tyres. So Hamilton is going to be squirming inside that cockpit of this, to be honest, when he gets given updates about what sort of lap time Zhou is doing, to be honest. And Hamilton is now over 7.5 seconds behind Antonelli, the guy who replaced him at Mercedes. Yeah, I mean, Norris and Leclerc definitely begging for a safety car, to be honest, because why else are they staying out for this long? Like, what is the other reason? I mean, we've now got, Piastri is now almost just over 4 seconds behind his McLaren teammate as well. So, you know, Piastri is catching up fast as I speak, and he's only less than 7.5 seconds behind the Ferrari lead driver. To be honest, this is quite a boring track without, like, any major safety cars, if we're going to be honest, like I predicted. And Norris has been given a warning for track limits, by the way, so I think if you get 3 or 4 warnings, you get a time penalty. And we've only got 22 laps remaining of this race, so Albon's up to 11th. Yep, he's overtaken Hulkenberg, obviously. I don't know what it is. It's like some people have like a live TV stream that's like 30 seconds ahead of others, depending on where they live in the world. Oh my god, I'm gonna burst into laughter if Leclerc pits, and then we get a safety car, and Norris becomes the race leader. I mean, the number of memes and jokes on the internet is going to be Lando forces his way to victory. And obviously, as I predicted, after 28 laps on the medium tyres, Sean is obviously pitting because, let's face it, my God, his last lap was a 33.4. Well, yes, Lando Norris is the leader on the road with 29 laps on hard tyres, with Oscar Piastri only 3.3 seconds behind him on the road. Let's see. Obviously, Leclerc comes out in 5th place. He's 16.5 seconds behind Norris, though. So, I mean, basically, Leclerc's in a net P4 on hard tyres. And Antonelli overtakes Hadjar for 6th place. Hamilton is, well, Hamilton is nearly 7 seconds behind the French RB driver. And the new fastest lap for a new personal best for Lando of a 33.26. But Oscar is breathing down his neck. And I do wonder, could team orders come into play? And of course, I think deep down, Lando is got his prayer mat out. He is kneeling down to a higher deity, and he is praying that a safety car rescues his Christian Bacon, and he completes a new personal best of a 33.156. Max takes a personal best of a 32.81. But as it stands, I mean, Oscar is now leading Max by nearly 5 seconds. Smooth Operator is still holding on to a points finish, but Lance Stroll still needs to pit, and I presume that he's going to overtake Lance down the straight along with Albon. And as much as Aston Martin are praying for a safety car to save their miserable start to the season, well, Sainz overtakes him anyway, and I presume Albon will do the same in the next lap. I've got to say, Norris is doing a good job. I mean, Piastri is stuck at a 3.3 second gap, and he can't really close the gap to his teammate, surprisingly enough. I don't know whether Oscar is trying to look after tyres, but 30 laps on the hard compound is a good job. Hadjar and, of course, Hulkenberg are holding on for 30 laps, although, of course, Hulkenberg is out of the points position. 31 laps for Stroll, which is pretty good. Once again, Lance Stroll in his tyre whispering phase yet again, when he can actually get his act together. But then, you know, when Lance Stroll visits a straight track, he always seems to do a good job. New personal best for Norris, 32.95. But the gap is now just over 3.0 seconds. Norris is desperate for the Aston Martin or the Mercedes safety car to make a visit to the track, because team orders could come into play if we're not careful here. Or worse than that, a pit stop could take place for Norris. But Norris, we all know how stubborn Norris can be. Meanwhile, Red Bull's first edition holographic Charizard is just over 4.5 seconds behind the Australian McLaren driver. And he's almost 6 seconds ahead of Mercedes' own Kangaskhan Pokemon character, aka George Russell. Having said that, Leclerc is now just 2.5 seconds behind the British Mercedes boy. And Leclerc, oh, I didn't realise he's just set the fastest lap with a 32.44. Impressive stuff by Leclerc. Although a classic case of Ferrari suddenly waking up halfway through the race. And he's lowered that fastest lap to a 32.43. And the gap between Norris and Piastri is now just 2.9 seconds, but it seems like Piastri is biding his time, to be honest, because I don't think he wants to go banging wheels with Norris anytime soon for the sanity of Zach Brown. Hadjar doing a great job holding on to 7th place, another tyre whispering. Overtakes Ocon for 13th place, and Haas's weekend goes from bad to worse, whilst Jack Doohan heads for the pit lane. It's a bit of a worrying sign, yeah. I mean, I think I'm trying to think. Ocon and Bottas will probably have to pit soon as well, and that's going to put all 3 drivers well out of contention for any points finish. While Stroll and Hulkenberg, who have yet to pit, all just fallen out of the points, so they might as well pit, to be honest, unless, because let's be honest, a safety car couldn't rescue their weekends, I'm afraid. Piastri is now just 2.2 seconds behind Lando. And Piastri completes a personal best of a 32.65, whilst Norris only did a 33.1 on the previous lap. It's getting close between the two Maccas up front. As Doohan is only about, well, it's actually about to be lapped, unfortunately. So the pressure only grows for the Australian rookie at Alpine, who already have had to deal with a first lap exit for Pierre Gasly after colliding with Yuki Tsunoda on the first lap of the race. Hulkenberg finally pits after 32 laps on the hard tyres. Ocon, I presume, is what's going on. Alonso has overtaken Ocon. Going down the straight, those horses are really struggling this weekend in race trim. Great qualified performance by Bearman, but Horse's natural level is returning. And Piastri will take the lead with Norris finally pitting after 34 laps on those hard tyres. And Norris is going to, well, he's going to be staring on the side of his cockpit, and his heart is going to drop as he will resume the race in P5. In no man's land between Leclerc and Antonelli. 15 laps remaining. 16, I beg your pardon. Hamilton is dicing with Hadjar, but of course Hadjar pits. And the two Williamses, I presume, will be one of them, or both of them, could be overtaking Hadjar for 8th and 9th place. And Hadjar will come out. Can he come out in the points? It really goes between Hadjar and Stroll. Who's going to make it to turn 1 first? It's the French RB driver who makes it out just about 2 seconds ahead of the Canadian GOAT. And Piastri will be beaming with a huge smile in his cockpit as he's now 4.5 seconds ahead of Piastri. 4.5 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, with only Doohan just in front of him on the verge of being lapped. And he's, well, the two Saubers are pretty close to being lapped as well as we speak. Is it okay? Well, Max, you're on course to finish second on a weekend where, let's be honest, Red Bull have probably only got the 4th fastest car on the grid anyway. I think as it stands, Red Bull, despite having the fourth fastest car, have got a driver who is potentially going to be P2 in the driver's title, and their car is going to be seeing P3 in the constructors. Not bad considering the amount of drama and theatrics that are going on behind the scenes between Christian Horner, Herbert Marko, and of course Jos Verstappen at each other's throats, like a happy family union, as many would say. Nothing dysfunctional going on at Milton Keynes. Nothing dysfunctional. Leclerc still holds the fastest lap of a 32.39. And oh, that's a purple sector 2 there from Norris, 28.97. Norris is going to be kicking himself after this race. He's 5.6 seconds behind Leclerc. And he is about nearly 7 seconds adrift of George Russell, who he should be in front of if we're going to be brutally honest. And it's a new personal best of a 32.43 for Norris, the 2024 F1 runner-up, who has 5 Grand Prix wins to his name. Meanwhile, his teammate Oscar is heading for what is going to be his 5th Grand Prix career win, as long as nothing goes wrong for him. That's going to be more bad reading for Lando. Lawson overtakes Stroll for 11th place. Hadjar in 10th place. The 2 Aston Martins have been well and truly put in their place. Look at that. It almost... Oh, sorry. What is this? It's a it's an audio commentary. Black and white flag for Bortoleto. Leclerc is in 3rd. Oh, what happened? Oh, Leclerc's getting close to Russell. Oh, I only just noticed on my timing screen. Leclerc's got DRS. He's heading into the final corner. Can he overtake Russell? Go to the start finish straight. And yeah, I mean, I can see it now. Leclerc is got DRS and he's completed the new fastest lap. Oh, and Norris gets the fastest lap, 32.13, but Leclerc takes the podium place off the lead Mercedes driver. And that's bad news for Russell, because obviously Norris is now only 4.5 seconds behind his fellow Briton. And Norris will be desperate to make up for lost ground this weekend. Having said that, Leclerc is 12 seconds behind the race leader, Oscar Piastri. My God, can you just imagine what type of racing driver Antonelli is going to become in like the next 2 or 3 years when he really gets the grip with the Mercedes car? Because, you know, Lawson gets a 10-second pen. That's interesting. My God, I mean, it's incredible just to look at Antonelli. He's only, what, 17 seconds behind Russell, which is pretty decent considering he's 18. Once he works out how to look after the tyres and do qualifying well, Russell is going to hate his life so much. He's only 18 years old, we've got to remember. He's only 18, whilst Russell is already, what, 27? And, yeah, Doohan is probably going to be lapped in the next few corners now. And Norris is the fastest guy on track, by the way. Look at that. He's only less than 2 seconds behind Russell. Russell is falling like a stone. Oh, and Alonso overtakes Stroll, whatever, mate. I don't care. They're not scoring points this weekend. But on more important matters, they're surely going to have to bring out the blue flags for Piastri. Surely. Not Piastri. Doohan, I beg your pardon, who is in front of Piastri. Hamilton is trying again. Try to what? Push more 9 and 10 if you can. Oh dear. Hamilton's having another strop. Getting beaten by his replacement at Mercedes, mind you. And he's only 17 seconds ahead of Sainz, which is pretty damning. The guy he replaced at Ferrari. Hamilton is in the F1 equivalent of no man's land. Another mediocre weekend for the 40-year-old veteran. Norris is now just 1.2 seconds behind his fellow Briton. Yeah, Leclerc's also catching Max. Leclerc's doing on a purple sector 1. But he's about 7 seconds behind the Dutch 4-time champion. So we're not going to be seeing an overtake imminent anytime soon between Leclerc and Max yet. But Norris is now just 0.7 seconds behind his fellow British countryman. And I'm pretty sure Russell will be overtaken in this coming up lap with about 11 laps remaining. Ferrari Civil War, yeah, I think Tifosi versus the Tifosi. Stroll pits. And Bearman has been given the go-ahead to overtake Ocon for track position, amazingly enough. So, wow, I think that's Ocon's team leader status already buried in the mud. Doohan's going to get lapped. Russell is now going into the final corner. He's under pressure from Norris. Can Norris get DRS and overtake on the start-finish straight? Surely he can. And that was so easy for McLaren. Such an easy overtake. Easier than swiping your Oyster card on the London Underground. Yep, and Norris is now just over 4 seconds behind the lead Ferrari with 10 laps remaining. And damage limitation is looking good for Norris now. Doohan is surely getting lapped soon. To be fair, Doohan's doing good lap times. His previous lap was a 33.85, but the blue flags are surely going to be waving at him now, or flashing, depending on what system they use it in Jeddah. Look at that. Stroll is in 17th. He's only just ahead of the Australian. What a fall from grace that is for the Canadian GOAT. Are we flashing those blue flags for Stroll too? And Piastri's getting DRS on his countryman. Norris. Okay, Piastri, Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Russell, Antonelli, Hamilton, Sainz, Alpine, and Hadjar is your top 10. Doohan goes a lap down, and I'm pretty sure Stroll will be the next to receive the blue flag with 9 laps remaining. Who is worse, Hartley or Lawson? If I'm going to be brutally honest, I think Brendan Hartley was a worse driver, because the thing with Brendan Hartley is that his junior results were really poor. Like, he got beat by Alcaswari. He got beat by Ricciardo. He struggled to impress in the Formula Renault 3.5 series. He also struggled a lot in GP2 after he lost his Red Bull backing. Yeah, he's had a great career in sports cars for Porsche and Toyota, but he's just not a single-seater driver. As for Lawson, I mean, okay, I know he's getting beat by Hadjar, but I think he needs a bit of a mental reset, to be honest. Oh, Norris could be under investigation. Oh, he's just said, oh, yeah, he just set the fastest lap of a 31.78. He's going to be kicking himself yet again. Because this is a thing, like, even though Norris is really erratic and inconsistent, I do think he still has a higher ceiling than Piastri, but Norris just cannot drive consistently within that narrow operating window he has for that McLaren. He's only now 3.6 seconds behind Leclerc. Oh my god, I need to stop tapping that clothes hanger next to me. Albert's got DRS on. Hadjar's got DRS on Albert, but Albert's got DRS on his teammate. Sainz is under hot pressure there. He's going to be turning into a baked chili soon. 8 laps remaining. And Hamilton's driver default Delta Zero has been turned off. Wow, Hamilton is having a miserable afternoon. Evening, I beg your pardon, in Jeddah. But he is closing in on Antonelli, only 2.7 behind the Italian rookie, but I don't exactly think Hamilton will be smiling if he can overtake the Mercedes replacement. Oh, Norris is off the hook, folks. Norris is off the hook. Purple sector 2 for Lando. Only just 3.3 seconds behind Leclerc on the start-finish line. Norris's fastest lap is about, I'm trying to look. His fastest lap is about 8 tenths faster than, oh, it's almost 8 tenths faster than his teammate Piastri, and just over 7 tenths faster than Verstappen, and it's just under half a second quicker than Leclerc. Remarkable pace yet again from Lando, who, if only he knew how to hold his nerve under pressure, eh? Seven laps remaining. 7 nights, thank you very much. Stroll will be lapped. Bortoleto will be lapped. Oh, God. Six to go. 6 laps to go, everyone. Norris is now 2.9 seconds behind Leclerc. Piastri needs to speed up a little bit because the gap is closing between him and Max. Antonelli completed a personal best of a 32.9. Funnily enough, I think Stroll's fastest lap is about 6 tenths quicker than Alonso. Doohan. Oh dear, Doohan is really holding things up, though, I have to say. And I think Norris will have a benefit of DRS coming up to pink Alpine. Going down on a start finish straight, he can have the opportunity to prepare an overtake on Leclerc for that final podium spot. 5 laps to go, everyone. And Verstappen has dropped off a little bit. Russell in no man's land. Oh my God, Lance Stroll and Bortoleto are causing Piastri all sorts of headaches, and he's begging for a blue flag. I mean, even though obviously Bortoleto and Stroll are giving Piastri a headache, they could potentially give Verstappen a headache when they come up when Verstappen encounters the Sauber and the Aston Martin. We have had no race order changes in the last 3 or 4 laps, but Piastri might be coming under a bit of heat soon if he cannot navigate these two soon to be lapped cars of Bortoleto and Stroll. Stroll finally gives way to Piastri, and Bortoleto really needs to do the same. Oh, and Stroll's overtaken Bortoleto. Four to go, everyone. 4 laps remaining. Norris is less than 2 seconds behind Leclerc's Ferrari. Hamilton is just 2.4 seconds adrift of Antonelli's Mercedes. Hadjar is only half a second behind Albon, who in turn is less than a second behind his own teammate Sainz. Sainz is, well, this is Sainz's best showing so far this season, but Albon is now piling on the pressure like a ton of bricks on his Spanish teammate's chili collection. It's 3.5 laps remaining for the race leader, Piastri. Verstappen is now 3.4 seconds behind the Australian. Norris still 2 seconds adrift of Leclerc. This is probably the battle that we're looking at, Leclerc and Norris for the 3rd place spot. But Norris is running out of time faster than one of those toy sand clocks that you can use in your toy collection. Three laps remaining. Thank you for 7 likes here at Crystal Racing. Please like, subscribe, and all that usual stuff. Look at that. Lawson is going to be joining the Sainz train soon. Russell thinks he might have a slow puncher. Okay, that's interesting. Six people watching, 7 likes. Thank you very much. This is Crystal Racing, commentating on the final 3 laps here at Saudi Arabia. Piastri controlling the pace at the front, 3.5 seconds ahead of 4-time champion Verstappen, who is struggling to lap Stroll and Bortoleto for some reason. Leclerc is now just 1.3 seconds ahead of Lando Norris for that final podium spot. Lando is running out of time. Antonelli is doing a great job keeping Hamilton at an arm's distance. He is 2.8 seconds ahead of him, and Hamilton, I think, is thrown in the towel. Hamilton, with his difficult start to life at Ferrari, is going to be beating that steering wheel once he crosses the finish line. It's been a tricky initiation ceremony for the 7-time world champion at Maranello, whilst Piastri is now just 1.5 laps away from his 5th career Grand Prix win here at Jeddah. But Max Verstappen is only 2.6 seconds behind the Aussie. Norris really needs to think about how he's going to overtake Leclerc coming onto the start-finish straight. And Piastri will cross the line to start lap 50 of 50. Just 2.6 ahead of Verstappen. This should be enough for the Australian driver to pick his 5th career win. Norris is now 1.3 seconds behind Leclerc. He still can't get DRS, so he's going to have to rely on a mistake from Leclerc if he wants that 3rd place. Russell is on course to finish 5th. Antonelli, another smooth performance from the Italian rookie in 6th place. Driver ratings, I think it's got to be a 9 out an A- for Oscar Piastri. Well, okay, I know he got pipped to pole position, but in the end, he took advantage of Max Verstappen's aggression at the start. Max got punished with a 5-second pen. Oscar, what he did, waited, bided his time, and got the race lead, and it will win the race. Max Verstappen, oh, it's so hard to do this. It's got to be an A- for Max. That moment of madness in the first corner has costed him the race win. It's that simple. Excellent, supreme qualifying lap, but once again, his pig-headedness gets the better of him. Piastri will cross the finish line to take the 5th win of his career. Congratulations, Oscar. And I think that will be the championship lead for Oscar Piastri too. Max finishes 2nd. Leclerc will finish in 3rd place. I think I'm going to give Leclerc an A grade for his performance this weekend. Fantastic performance in a struggling Ferrari. Norris will get a B-. He will be bitterly disappointed, knowing that he could have won the race, to be honest. He only finishes 9 seconds behind Piastri and the checkered flag as well. Russell, it's another A grade for him. Very decent drive. Antonelli also gets an A grade for another solid performance. Mercedes. Lewis Hamilton gets a C+ for me. Nowhere near good enough. Nowhere near good enough, I'm afraid. Sainz has done a supreme, excellent job of holding off his teammate Albon and a 2 RBs. So I think I'm going to give Sainz a B+ for his best qualifying performance of 6 so far and finishing 8th to score his 1st ever points at Williams. Albon will get a B grade. Another decent weekend again for Alex. It's going to be a couple of B grades for the 2 RB boys, Hadjar and Lawson. Lawson will be annoyed not to... Oh! What happened there? Lawson got a penalty. So that's a B- for Lawson. Fernando Alonso, I think I'll give him like a B+, getting 11th place in that dusty Aston Martin. Bearman will get a B- for that excellent qualifying performance, but in terms of race pace, Haas don't have it. And Ocon will get a C grade for being Esteban Ocon, and just the fact I can't be asked to say anything nice about him. 15th place, Hulkenberg. I'll give him a B grade for getting his car into Q2. Stroll gets a C- for me because whatever. Doohan finished a 17th, which means that I'm sorry to say this, Doohan, you get a D grade for me because this weekend, with your teammate getting eliminated at turn one, you needed a big performance and you failed to deliver yet again. So it's a D grade for me, and you've got to be the reject of the day for me. Driver of the day, I don't know. I'll probably give it to Piastri for keeping calm under pressure. Although Sainz will probably come runners up for finally getting points at Williams. 18th place, Bortoleto. I'll give him a C grade. Yeah, he finished last, but what can he do, really? Sauber have a rubbish car. And then, of course, Tsunoda and Gasly, the two drivers eliminated at turn one, will not get a grade because that was a racing incident. So thank you for watching here at Racing, Crystal Racing. And I will see you in 2 weeks' time for whatever Grand Prix it is. I don't know what race. Is it Spain, Monaco, Imola, San Marino? Don't know. But there it is. There is your race winner. Piastri wins the race, and he should take the championship lead as well. Thank you for all the support as always. And unfortunately, my chat has disappeared, so I can't respond. I can't see the chat, sadly. Oh, yeah, the next race is Miami. Thank you very much, John. All right. Okay.